Okay, I got it recording, so we're good to go. This is our December 2021 version of the CAD Advisory Group meeting. Our next meeting will be January 18th, 2022. Hopefully 2022 is better than 2021. Something like that. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody and all that good stuff. We did win the holiday decorating championship down here.
I was wondering if you're going to add that, Bill, or not.
Yeah, I wish I had some screenshots. It would have been kind of cool because we really did a fine job here. We knocked it out. Our class schedule is no class schedules at this time as far as any microstation and road classes going on. But again, if you want to have a class, just contact us and we'll get the ball rolling on that. As always, we have some available online classes. They're still out there, and we may add to this as we go. We got to fix the Power Geopack Road 1 to actually be more of an ORD thing coming up. I don't want to say anything else about the Open Roads Designer stuff because somebody else, we have a guest speaker that's going to speak today. I mean, this month is Randall's month. He gets to do the presentation, but we got a guest speaker coming in, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce him now, and that's Kevin Vollet. He's going to be doing the ORD information.
Yeah.
What are you chuckling about?
Nothing.
The gnome? You like the gnome?
Yeah, the gnome looks good.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you,
all
Kevin,
right.
so you can give your little presentation.
Waiting for the share.
Okay, you should get it here in a second.
Share content, right?
Yes.
It's going to be screen 2.
Yes.
Okay, so my update's going to be on Open Roads Designer. As you all know, we've been working on this for a long time, and there's been a lot of issues with the Open Roads Designer that we've kind of outweighted Bentley. Bentley wanted us to go a lot sooner with the Open Roads Designer, but we just felt it'd be frustrating to you all if we went when they wanted us to go. So most of the issues that we have identified with Bentley, they've fixed for us, and we believe it's good to go. Let me get my PowerPoint going here. So in January 2022, MoDAT's CAD services will start to upgrade our civil engineering CAD software from Bentley's SS10 to the latest release, which is called Open Roads Designer. Benefits for going forward to ORD include the following, but not limited to. Brings along a modern interface like the Office products. So you'll be familiar with that kind of ribbon pull down. ORD is built on 64-bit technology, which can utilize much more of the computer's memory. And in doing so, ORD can handle the much larger data sets, especially with the LiDAR surfaces. ORD has no old legacy tools. SS10 and SS4 were pretty much a patchwork of old and new tools jammed together. And an example of an old tool would be like the GPK and Kogo and stuff like that. That is no longer in ORD. The look and feel of ORD tools is very similar to SS10, except for the new tools like the plan sheet creation tools, cross-section tools, but we're gonna show you how to use those tools before we leave your district. So, but everything else, once you get into the tool, like Roadway Designer, very similar to SS10. The template library almost identical. So you'll again, once you get into the tool, you'll be very familiar with it. And another reason why we're kind of needing to move to ORD is Bentley support for SS10 is sunsetting, and we knew this was coming. And really, to be honest, Bentley quit supporting SS10 as far as bug fixes a long time ago. They pretty much put all their effort into ORD. And what we're more worried about is, say, we get a Windows upgrade to the next Windows version. We don't know how that will affect SS10. So, and so that support is going away, and so we really need to get on to their current product, which is ORD. So right now, for each district, we are planning for a one-day training to go over the new features and interface. We don't think it'll take more than one day because, again, most of the tools will look very familiar to you. And we plan on bringing our laptops so the district users can actually walk through some of the exercises that we're gonna show that day. And then after that 1 day of training, our CAD staff will do the training, and we'll stick around in the district 1 day, the next day, and we'll stick around as long as we are needed to get you up and going into ORD if you choose to do that. On current projects, we don't want to force anybody to convert, but we would like all new projects to start in ORD. And again, once we show you the training, we think you'll feel a little more comfortable going into ORD. It's just, again, a new interface is probably the biggest hurdle you're going to have to get through, just trying to find out where the tools are at. But once you get used to the new interface, we think it'll be a very easy transition. So there is an option to convert SS10 projects. So if you did want to convert up to ORD, we can attempt to do that. Typically, we want to take projects that aren't too far along into the project. We don't want to be converting you if you got, cross-section sheets and plan sheets all created. We probably will tell you to just go ahead and finish that out in SS10. And then when you start the next project, we'll start in ORD. So far, we've had some interest from the districts on wanting to go to ORD. And so we kind of put those districts kind of at the top of the list. And the first one that we're going to do is the Northeast District. We're going to be training them January 10th through the 13th. We're going to show up on the 10th. We're going to train the 11th, stick around the 12th, and however long we need to. So, and then once we're done with Northeast, we're gonna head back down to the central area of the state and do Central District on, and I don't know if you can see those dates. I'm gonna move that over. February 8th through the 10th. Again, we're gonna show up on the 8th, kind of set things up in the classrooms, but we're gonna start the next day at 8 o'clock training ORD and try to get everything done in 1 day as far as the training goes. So the next districts after that, it's up in the air. If you guys, anybody in the districts is interested in going ahead of the other ones, let us know, and those will probably be in March, April, and May. If I don't hear from the districts, I'm going to probably wait till after we get through the Northeast District. I will start calling the other districts after that. I want to make sure that training goes smoothly and Northeast goes smoothly, and then once that's done, I will start contacting the other districts about when they might want to go. And we had thought about possibly training Kansas City, getting them going, and then moving up the Northeast because they're so close to each other. But we don't have to do that in the same week. We can schedule them separate times. So just maybe talk with the people in your district, talk with your district design engineer, and if you guys are interested, let us know, and we'll put you on the schedule. That's all I got, Bill.
Thanks, Kevin. Let me change the roll back to me for a second and share my screen. Okay, so that was Kevin. Very informational. I didn't want to take his thunder by announcing all the class stuff, but the next month's this month's presenter is Randall Hoskins.
Oh, sorry, I'm not muted. Sorry.
He's going to talk about ProjectWise Workspace and the ORD backstage and maybe a couple more things. So I'm going to go ahead and make you the presenter here. Randall, I got to find you in this list.
The Grinch, Bill, really?
It was just a picture. I didn't.
Yeah.
It was just random. Just came up.
Yeah.
Wasn't pre-planned or anything. It was just just a picture.
I believe you, Bill. So
I don't believe Bill.
Randall was so intricate in this whole design thing of the CAD winnings, so he wouldn't be the Grinch. It just was a random thing.
No one believes you. All right. So first, we were going to talk about ProjectWise Explorer a little bit. The new data source is going to now have the 7 current districts. It will no longer have the 10. It's still going to be set up pretty much the same way as far as having a CAD Standards folder, of course, contract plans, and then the other ones down at the bottom, like the specifications and estimates, the training sandbox, and the user shared files. One of the changes is under the CAD Standards. To get to the CAD Standards, it's buried a little bit in here. You need to go to CAD Standards. It's the ORD standards. Then connect config. Organization. Oh, sorry, no. Workspaces. MODOT. And then standards. And then that's where our standards will be. Of course, they're pretty much similar as the other data source. You've got your like geographic coordinate systems in here. We did go in and Chad has reorganized the seed files. So it's going to look a little bit different. We still have it separated out by bridge design, metric. I think Bill still uses metric, and sheets and survey. But under the main seed folder, you'll find your basic bridge 2D and 3D files and your design 2D and 3D files. And then under design, you have your separate sections. And there's no big list under here anymore. Most of those are under miscellaneous. So like to get to your Bing maps, coordinate point sheets, summary of quantities, all of those seed files will be under the miscellaneous. And also under here, Chad has put some of the Excel files used for some of these sheets, like the summary of quantities, since most of the people in IS don't set up Excel and Word correctly anymore. We just decided to go ahead and put the summary of quantities default sheet under here where you can get to it, copy it out. Figured that would be easier. So that's kind of where the CAD standards will be. Now, as far as your district workspaces and how they look, I've gone ahead and put just a test one under the District 1 Northwest. And each district's going to look the same. It's going to have a non-STIP projects folder and a STIP projects folder. So based on whether your project is a STIP project or not is where it'll go. And we'll have something similar to the project-wise requests that you'll send us. And basically, you guys will no longer have the ability to create the job folder under here. You'll contact us. Probably either Chris or Chad will make that folder. And then once that folder is made, then you'll be able to add permissions to it. And we're not real sure how we're going to do that yet. We're still working on that. But like under the non-STIP projects, you'll have two groups. You'll have Roadway and Survey. I put one in Roadway. And once you go into Roadway, of course, you'll have your counties under there. If I expand Andrew, you can see I created this work area. And basically, once it's created, you'll be able to go in and add your other folders, data, sheets, whatever you need to for your non-STIP project. So there's not really a whole lot under here we have preset. But if I go into a STIP project, you can see I made a test one here under Andrew County. Once we create that job folder for that work area, it'll automatically create the folders for bridge, roadway, and survey, and also electronic deliverables and estimates. Under the bridge folder, you guys probably won't have to worry about it. I don't think there's anyone from bridge that joins these, but it does automatically create a folder for a bridge and then some calculations. Under roadway, it'll automatically create some folders for you. If I just select roadway, you can see you've got the data folder, and under it, it'll automatically create some blank default files for you that you might use. Of course, if you don't want these files, you can go in and delete them after you get access to them. Then you'll have a drainage folder, a lighting folder, and then under the plan sheets folder, we have a bunch of folders pre-created for you where you can put some of your plan sheet stuff. And this can always be changed when you get in there and start creating your design. So that's pretty much it for the districts. I mean, it's pretty much set up the same. You guys will probably have access to each of your districts, and that's it. The training sandbox will have our new training files in there eventually. And that's pretty much it for the project-wise side of it. Does anybody have any questions on that real quick before I move into?
Randall, just to kind of reiterate something. So the workspace is not going to be on the T drive anymore, but it's going to reside in ProjectWise now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mean like the standards and stuff, or what?
Well, the actual workspace itself, there is no need for we're not taking away the T drive, but there is no need for a T drive anymore because we don't need it.
Yeah, this is all cloud-based.
Yeah.
So,
Randall, I do have a question. When you have the differentiation between non-step projects and the step projects, if I'm guessing the non-step is just for like scoping jobs, or is that for any of the side projects that like the assistant DE wants us to look at for like turning sims and whatnot? Is that where that's supposed to go, or what's your envisioning?
I think Chris was kind of envisioning anything that basically doesn't have a project number would probably be a non-step project. I believe that's where we were going with that. So,
I think that is correct, Randall. Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just wondering if the districts will have to do any preparation for files when we transfer to this new organization, or I mean, is there anything that has to be done?
That's what Kevin kind of mentioned, the conversion process. I did forget to mention, basically the only files that will be going into the new ORD environment will be projects either converted from Power Geopack or ORD projects created. So you won't be able to, if you're still working in SS10, you'll still be using the old electronic plans area.
Now, Jeff, if you do convert a project, there are some steps that you would probably want to take, and I'm going to try to outline those. And I actually have the document done already, but there will be several reports you should probably run, especially if you got corridors and stuff like that, just to have a backup of what all the settings were set to in SS10. So, and I got a conversion document that kind of lists all the items that I like you to do if you do try to convert a project. So
Will you be showing that at training?
you will be showing that at training. That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
That'll actually be
and I'll probably make that available earlier for you guys to look at too as well. And I'll have a video that goes along with it. So if you wanted to jump the gun and get some of the stuff done before we convert you, that might be a good idea. So.
Good question. Anything else? All right. If there's nothing else on project-wise, I'll go ahead and go into the backstage and inside of Open Roads Designer. Excuse me. So to get to the backstage, it's just the file up here in the corner. And basically it's the same as like in Excel and Word. They have the backstage where you can create a new file, you can open, you can save. Of course, in Open Roads Designer, you can update your server copy. if you're actually in a file, you can actually send that file to someone with the send mail. If I hit the send mail, it'll actually open up my email and attach that file so you could email it to someone. Of course, you can close. Under tools, you have some files where you can compress your file. I know you guys do that every once in a while. Probably won't mess with too many of the other ones, so we really won't go through these. The big one you might look at are the settings. So to get to any of your settings, this is where you go. You know, you have your user settings, your system, your file, and configuration. The two you guys will be messing with would be the user and the file settings. So I'll go through some of these. Of course, under user, and the user settings are set for all your drawings, right? And it's the same as in SS10. The file settings are going to be tied to that file you're in. So you have your AccuDraw settings under user, which we don't need to go through these, but there are some new button assignments. So I'll kind of look at a couple of those that might be handy. If you just click on it, you can see what they are. I know one a lot of you guys use now is for the middle mouse button. You change it to the pan and drag. Well, that's a default now. So I cancel out of that and go back. I'm going to drawing. If I just press my middle, well, I don't have anything drawn in here. Don't really see it.
Show them how to draw a line, Randall.
So how to draw a line.
You could do it.
I might be able to do it. Is that good enough for you, Bill?
That's fancy, man. That's fancy.
Yeah, yeah. So if I just hold down my middle mouse button now, I can pan and drag.
It does look like a Shannon Smith profile right there. Good job.
Yeah. Another one that's out there, I want to change some of my colors real quick. Some of my weights. Is the Alt and the Data button, which is your first mouse button or your left mouse button. It's now a Smart Match tool. So I hold down my Alt key, and I'm hovering over a line, and I left click. You'll notice it's going to smart match everything about that line. So that's kind of a new shortcut. So if you're wanting to smart match something, you don't actually have to go to the tool anymore. That might be a handy one. Then another one is the shift key and the tentative snap, which is a chord, which is the first and third mouse button at the same time. So if I hold down the shift and the first and third, it'll bring up your default snapping. So if you wanted to change your snapping real quick, you could change it that way as well. Just select one and you notice it activates my intersection snap. So those are a few of the different button assignments that are out there now. If you want to look at some of those later, once you get it installed, you can. And you can always set up your own still. We didn't lock any of that out. You can still set up your own button assignments if you want to. I don't know how much access you'll have to do some of these other ones like the customize ribbon and the explore settings, but we still do have our function keys. I think F1 through F12 are still some of our MoDOT function keys. You can still go in and change them here if you need to. I'm not going to go through all these, but that's where you find them. Gesture assignments, unless you have a touch screen, you're not going to be able to use that. Of course, you have your keyboard settings, not much under there. The message center, you probably won't need to mess with that. The other one you might look at a lot is the preferences. So if I go under the preferences, you'll notice you have several options under here. Like I went in here and I changed the look and feel. It has a dark theme now, which mine is set up as the dark theme instead of the light theme. I just did it to see what it would do. course, one of the other changes we made, and I think we've made that in SS10 as well, under like the operation, we have our auto save design changes checked on. So basically, anytime you change anything in your design, it automatically saves it back to your local machine. If you don't like that option, you can always go back in and turn it off there. Some of the other ones you might change, I don't know. Under the view options, you can turn on and off your scroll bars. If you want to change your backgrounds, you can do it still. And I believe here you can also change the backgrounds of your different sheets, like your sheet model background and your drawing background. You can change some of those here. It won't take effect until you check it on, because I think I changed my design background to blue. Until I check it on and hit OK, I think if I go back, now my background's blue. So these are all just user settings if you guys want to go in. Once you get ORD, kind of show you where some of those are. The one thing under here you might use quite a bit. If there's a toolbox you used to use a lot, and you want it on your screen, you can go back into toolboxes. So I know maybe I use geographic coordinate system stuff a lot. So if I go in here and find it, if I can spell it, there's just geographic. So I can just turn that on and dock it, wherever I want. Still works the same docking, but now I could have my geographic tools open all the time. It'll still be in the ribbon, but if I use it more often than not, I can have them docked somewhere. What's up? I think that's it kind of for the settings. You won't be messing with the task very much so you won't worry about that one. Under the system settings, there's really nothing under that except digitizing. And the only other one you might use are the file settings, of course. The big one under here are the design file settings. So it's file based. Of course, you can always go in and change, we've shown this hundreds of times, your angle readout. Maybe you want to change your snapping instead of a divisor of 2 to 3. Have that option as well. So that's kind of where you find most of your settings. I believe this properties button just opens the properties of your sheet. So, it was already pinned. Oops. So basically, it just tells you where your sheet is. I think you can go in here and change some of this stuff under here if you want, down towards the bottom. You have some snapping stuff in there. If you wanted to change it here, you can change it here as well. And then you had to basically just have your print, some of your other options under here we won't worry about. You do have some other options under here. The big one is help. Basically, I don't think for just the basic microstation class or the Road 1 and 2 classes, we're not really making basically manuals. We're making kind of like exercise manuals for them. But so if you needed help on any of your items, you'd have to go to the help button here or the help button somewhere else. So basically, if you just go to the help contents, this is just telling me it's going to go online. It'll take you out to Bentley's help. And here you can search on anything you need to if you need to know how to use any of the tools. The one thing this does, the Open Roads Designer Connect Edition. So basically it's the Open Roads help. If you needed help with a standard microstation tool, like just the place line tool, I don't think you can find it here. So you'd probably have to go back to home. If you select MicroStation, then go to MicroStation Help, then just pick the newest one they have. Then if I wanted to go to like place line, should show it to me under here. So there's a place smart line. So it'll tell you everything you need to know about that tool. So that's kind of where most of the help is going to be. We're going to have a small kind of help file that has some of the stuff that's MoDOT based stuff that we've modified. So we'll have a small manual, but it won't be all of the tools and stuff. You'll have to actually go in to the online help to find that, or give Chad a call. Chad always wants to answer phone calls. So if I go back to home, oh why? Can't see under that. We did create, or Chad did create, this MoDOT miscellaneous pull down. It's another place you can go to find some of the tools. Basically, if I select that, most of these tools were standard MicroStation tools. You know, we used to have dock to the side. So if you don't know where to find them, this might be a quick place you could go to get some of them. But down here at the bottom, under this miscellaneous apps, we'll also have some of the tools like Auto Turn and Taurus if you need to open those inside of MicroStation. Some of the external apps we use inside of Open Roads Designer. So that's kind of what that one does. Well, the search window or the search ribbon. So we do have, if there's a tool you're looking for and you know what it's named, you can use a search ribbon. So if I wanted to maybe find line between points, but I didn't know under what workflow or what tab or what ribbon I needed to go, I could just start typing line. It's going to give you a whole list of things. So basically, it found the line between points if that's what I want to do. And it's going to give me the tool. And if I hover over it, these other two are the locations, like the workflow, the tab, and the group that that tool is under. So if I select, if I select one of these, it's going to actually change my workflow and my tab, and then, you know, we'll go lines, line between points. If I just want to activate that tool, I can just click on the actual line between points. It's going to activate that tool for me. It's just a few of the settings we have in here, and that's pretty much all I was going to show today. Unless you guys wanted to see something else or had a question about something.
Randall, got another question for you.
Sure.
I'm probably going to get this just before Steve does. Under the design file, is that where we're going to be switching curve definitions out, or do we have a quicker way to get at that?
That's probably under here. There's civil formatting. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that was the old way we were doing it, and I didn't know if that was going to change with ORD or stay the same.
Pretty much stay the same. So if you want a chord, you gotta go in there and
Change it here.
change it. Yeah. Unfortunately, we asked for that a long time ago, back in SS10, and we even pushed for it to go into ORD way back when, and they promptly ignored us. So,
Now, technically, we've been asking for it since Series 4 or before.
yeah. It's been a long time. So,
That's as long as I've been ignoring Kevin.
That's a
Bring
long
leisure,
time,
Chris.
Arnold.
And one other question is, say, under the workspace, that I noticed it said number of displays. We're not limited to 2 now, or
We're under the user settings, or
I think it was.
I don't even.
Yeah, under operation, I noticed that it said number of displays, and there was a pull down there. It's like we're not limited to 2 now.
Oh, over here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the
a good-
application.
It's a good question.
Yep.
Wow, we can do 4. Wow.
So has Northwest got their new laptops and monitors?
We do. We're still kind of ironing out a couple of kinks, but we have them.
Yeah, there's a lot of settings under here we haven't even really, we look at what we can, but
There's a
still a
lot
bunch
of stuff.
Yeah,
We'll have to check into that for you, Mike, and we'll let you know.
yeah. I know under the ribbon you can change a lot of stuff about the ribbon. We've got it set up to where it looks pretty good, but if you want to go in and change some of the way your ribbon looks, you can always do that. I mean, it's just there's tons of different ways you can make it look. Of course, we don't have time to go through all of them, but
Hey, Randall, I know the next question that they're going to probably ask is, once you make all these changes, is there a way to keep them if you got to like blow away your settings and all that stuff, or is it we haven't come up with that yet?
I don't know that you can. I know that there is a cleanup tool and it will blow everything away.
Okay.
I would imagine there's a file out there you possibly could try and save. I'm not real sure. That's more a
Okay.
Chad question. Chad set up the cleanup tool, but I can look into it.
Okay.
Or make Chad do it. One of the two. But yeah, the cleanup tool will blow away all your personal preferences like it has ever since it's been out there.
Any other questions? Anything for Randall? Well, thank you, Randall.
No problem, Bill. I was happy to, not
Yeah.
grinchy like you
You-
said.
You sounded happy.
Hey, Bill, can you go back to that PowerPoint again?
I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Share content. That one. Share.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
That guy's got his heart went 3 sizes bigger, Randall, and that's why I thought of it for you.
Thanks, Bill. You're always looking out for me.
Next month's presenter will be me. I'll get to do something next month. We'll have something to show. It's January 18th.
Hey, Bill,
Yes.
can you patch me in, or can you, so I can
Sure.
show some?
Yeah, if you want to show something, I sure can do that. Find you, Chris.
Slide for Chris on your PowerPoint, Bill.
Yeah, I don't. I should have. Didn't know he was going to do it. You can share your screen now, Chris.
Yeah, I'm trying to think which one I'm going to share.
Uh-oh.
Come on.
Slowly but surely.
It's thinking. Do you see it yet?
I see.
What do you see?
Yeah, share your screen. You shared the wrong screen, I think.
We see your
Share your content.
Cisco WebEx screen.
Share your content, and then pick the window.
I know, I'm working on it. I'll go to this one. How's that?
Hit the share button at the bottom.
All right. Do you see it now?
Nope. You gotta hit that share.
I did.
At the bottom. There you go. Now it's coming.
Yeah. All right. For those of you that have had the chance to actually get the new laptops, make sure that your NVIDIA control panel is installed on your machine. If it's not, get it installed. And once it's installed, you need to change your preferred graphic processor. By default, it'll be set to auto select. You want to set it to high performance NVIDIA processor. If you don't do this, you'll run into issues where it will crash. When you do any graphic type of thing, it will make your machine work a lot better. So that's all I really want to kind of share with that.
That's it, but that's a big one, huh?
Yep. It'll be better for everybody.
So take a screenshot of that, people, if you can. Send an email out, maybe.
And one other thing about that NVIDIA control panel, if it isn't installed, that's a program that you can install as a user. You don't need IS to
Oh, that's awesome.
install it
Okay.
for you.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. You got it again.
Yes. Okay, so next month's me. Let me see. Any questions or anything for this month, or?
Do you want me to show that video that I was showing earlier, Bill?
No, you don't have to do that one. I mean, that jib jab of Kevin and me.
And
It is not. I think they've seen that before, so it's no big deal. Hopefully, everybody's excited about this ORD. We're gonna start at January. Who knows how long it's gonna take? Kevin thinks what, March or May?
Hopefully by May we'll have it all done.
Yeah.
22 or 23?
That's a good question. If there's no more questions, we'll go ahead and end it. Anything else? All right.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks for showing up. And see you January 18th.